All right, here we are in another best of three from the Logitech Plays tournament. This one is going to feature Elf again in the red Infernal, and we're going to see Albino here in the blue Vanguard. And Albino, of course, you can catch him on Twitch as well. He is also a regular streamer. Elf is not a regular streamer. I asked her before if she does, and she said she's tried before, but her computer is not good enough to do it. And somewhat selfishly myself, I said, well, if you send me replays, I will cast them. That's why there's so many Elf replays on my channel. But that's really just because I really like watching Elf play. And if I can get her to send me replays that I can cast, even better. I love it. So some of these games, for instance, this series, I think this series, one of these games might have been cast against Albino. But all these games I've cast so far tonight, I had not seen. They were not on anyone's channel, and I was just excited to be able to see them, and that's why I've gone ahead and put them on my channel. Now, this dog from Albino, Albino plays lots of games, and he is definitely a good Vanguard. He wants to make this dog do a little bit of work in the early game here, and he's basically bugging, Elf by just trying to do some initial damage to this farm. One reason why this is actually very valuable is Infernal. Oh, finally, Infernal buildings do not heal over time. This is at 211 hit points. It will be at 211 hit points forever. And now what that dog did is run over here and aggro these shadow demons so that the shadow demons continue to attack the meat farm, which is now down to 100 hit points. But we see finally the army of Elf comes in to rescue the farm, basically. I'm not sure if any hogs are there, and so the other benefit of that harass from Albino is all the hogs that were supposed to be helping tank here were all killed by the shadow demons before they could do their actual job. So good harass out of Albino, and he definitely has played this game enough to know that that's going to be a worthwhile thing for him to do. And meanwhile, while we were watching that dog do its thing, Elf has cleared the health camp and exploded herself. She's on double vault with the conclave behind. And we have a single Rax with not quite a fast expo, probably normally timed expo for Albino. And it looks like Elf is going to take her early army advantage and try to take a bit of a creep income advantage as well. That's one way that she can maybe get back at Albino from stealing or messing with her meat farm up there, is by taking a couple of his creeps on his side of the map, so that but she's actually going to be aggressive. She's moving these fiends right inside here, but she sees some Swordy Boy Lancers and says maybe Albino's ready for this. And if those were all brutes, I might say run on in. Brutes do pretty good, but fiends kind of get shredded by Lancers. They do more damage to Lancers now after a recent Lancer change, but yeah, fiends alone against Lancers, not great. They do get shredded. So instead we see more creeping on Albino's side of the map from Elf, so I like this. I think maybe by just doing that little fake aggression, it does make Albino maybe say, I want to stay at home just in case she pushes back up that ramp. Maybe she was just waiting for the next, batch of brutes out of her vaults. And well, these fiends are now trying to do a run by while these lancers are moving out, and these fiends are moving into the mineral line on top of the Ethereum miners. No overcharge going down. Instead, a single lancer trying to come and clean up. Nice sort of micro auto repair micro, and these lancers are moving across the map. Wow, how did the dog capture this? And where is that dog? That's a cheeky, cheeky, cheeky little puppy hiding there where nobody could see him. These Lancers all at level 2 of promotion. They that looks like some promotes being put down, or maybe as a result of some of their creeping. And trying to move right on top of the imps. Instead, we've got brutes here trying to defend. A couple imps turning to fight, but then returning to mining. And then the brute. We got lots of brutes here. Some of those brutes could maybe walk. Yeah, run away. You don't want to get surrounded by brutes. Brutes are kind of slow. If you let yourself get surrounded by brutes, that's kind of on you, especially when you got kinetic redirection like these lancers have, which they ran away. And look at this, still in the healing camp. Where is that pup and how is he doing that? That is just not cool. That is some next level tech that Albino was putting down there. He was healing up in... This is one of the maps where they're not supposed to be able to jank your healing camp, but there they were sitting there with the dog hiding and killing another farm. Not cool, you know. That can supply block a person, and Elf's right at the top of her supply. We now see a Hornet coming out. This is a nice little tech switch out of Albino, basically saying if you're not going to build any anti-air, there are 2 Gaunts there, but if you're not going to build any anti-air, I'm going to just send a single Hornet at you and try and melt like Gaunts or something. You know, that single Hornet might take a year to kill a Weaver, but might be able to kill some of these brutes, or maybe get on that Hexen. Although the Hexen's trying to chase it away with a Skull of Shedda. We see Lancers again over here being annoying for sure. And Hornets, well, they pushed in for a second, but then moved back. Okay, this is a pretty nice army of brutes and weavers with a smattering of Gaunts being added now. And meanwhile, these are just these tough boy lancers out on the map still. Pretty good map control because it's really hard to engage into them. They're just really tough. And these Hornets just managing... Oh, getting a healing cabbage before heading back. Just a couple Gaunts there to maybe chase them away. But 2 Gaunts isn't going to be enough. I like that micro, just microing back one of the Gaunts instead of both. I certainly would have boxed both of them and marched them back. But the Hornets, growing in numbers, but so far just kind of being annoying. Not really getting a lot of damage done. Okay, I do like this. Splitting her army a bit. Creeping with this sort of defensive God Force that's here to protect imps from Hornets, while keeping her, you know, this army's not going to be good against Hornets, but if those Lancers come to try and deny again, she can chase them away. So nice defensive placement of her forces, not all in one group. I like that. These Lancers trying to come out and be annoying again, while these Hornets are pushing in on the imps. And a Manifest Shroudstone. And a return to bait hanger on one of those. And one going down. I didn't quite see that, but I imagined those were Shadow Flyers. And now Lancers moving in on these brutes, but seeing they're outmatched here, and yeah, these Weavers can say, no, you ain't getting anywhere. I know you're a little bit speedy, but yeah, unfortunately the Lancers are speedy enough to outpace the Weavers, and so they get away there. One hero Gaunt maybe deciding it wasn't a good day to die and coming back. Elf Force trying to move across the map now. This movement looking for a third, although Albino's third is in that deeper bottom position. Annoying little pup here saying, I'll bite your ankles if you don't turn around and throw your axes at me, which of course these Gaunts obliged. A couple of Hornets not in a great place, right on... Oh, just sitting here on top of the Gaunts. Not being microed. Unfortunately getting lost there. Definitely could have saved them. Well, there's a nice little force. On top of these Lancers, we got a couple Vulcans. One of those Vulcans looking pretty injured. I think there was some creeping going on there. Another Vulcan down there getting yanked in. A good lash. Another lash with a stun on the shielded one. With that shield, managing to take those Weaver hits no problem. And now we got a nice defensive line formed by the Lancers, but it looks like the Vulcans have all gone down. And now the Lancers are trying to retreat. I think that was a misclick by Elf because it looked like she took out her own effigy. And she's not going to chase those Lancers. She's going to come down to this base and see what's going on over here. A couple Fiends get on top of this sentry post right away. Gaunt's adding DPS. No workers coming. A shield being put on the command post. That's an interesting choice. That'll just keep it alive while the army tries to come back and reinforce. Elf's army doing a lot of move command over here, or maybe trying to get on top of these workers to spawn some Fiends from the Plague Axes. While this bulk of Brutes and Weavers are facing off against the defensive force brought in by Albino, which of course is mostly going to be Lancers here with some Medtechs. And up on the high ground, we got a kind of hero Vulcan that's... Ooh, nice Nightfall Infestation going down on those high ground units. And these Lancers on the low ground are actually super tanky. Those Medtechs in the back are doing a nice job of keeping them alive with their heal. One Hornet on top getting caught under some gaunts and it's taken out. The Vulcan finally gets a lash in from the Weaver and is taken out as well. And these reinforcing gaunts and brutes show up. And they're going to be enough, I think, to clean this up. One reinforcing Vulcan maybe deciding better of joining this battle. And that's a GG coming out of Albino. And here we are back in game 2 with Albino in the blue Vanguard, hoping for a win here to force a game 3 against his opponent Elf in the red Infernal. And so far, Elf has gone undefeated in tonight's matches, and this is her 3rd series in the Logitech Plays tournament. But some of those earlier matches were against some lower seeded folks, and Albino is a bit of a higher seed, certainly, as he is pretty high ranked on the ladder. I think that's how they seeded this tournament, was from the ladder. And we got a farm over here, and that dog, well, took one bite out of the farm before saying, my first mission is actually to scout, and then it's to bite on the farm. And seeing double vault, probably not surprised. See the double vault. I think that's what we had last time, or was it a single? Yeah, it was double vault last time as well. And chewing on the vault this time instead of chewing on the farm, or maybe just trying to get some bites up on that Hexen. Real aggressive dog here. Lots of movement from Albino, trying to keep that dog annoying. I'll often just ignore the dog, but this is a nice little micro battle. Like, if you want to keep running back and forth, biting me while my Hexen auto attacks you, that's fine. Because I don't have that micro control to chase down a dog. Every once in a while, I'll split a brute and get a dog and feel like a king. This dog, yeah, trying to bite the Hexen's ankles. We got Skull out, but not trying to target that dog. Just trying to chase the dog off. And I like to see that Fiend split off to just chase the dog away, saying, get away from me. Fiends, of course, being faster than the dog, but able to chase the dog down. Not necessarily tougher than the dog in a one-to-one battle, but usually enough to chase the dog away to go find one of those healing cabbages. And that's a nice couple hits on that dog, but like I said, that dog trying to bite down on that healing cabbage and getting back to full health after that, and still trying to be annoying. This army of Elf getting on top of the Vision Camp, but let's check in these Lancers, it looks like, over here. And a Fast Expo, still on 1 Rax. Looks like a similar build to last time for Albino. And this army trying to chase that dog away, saying, buzz off, buddy. He's got a rank of veterancy, and I wonder what that's about. Was there a promote? I don't think so. Maybe getting a kill on one of those Shadow Demons is a possibility. And yeah, we've got now pushing into this camp. Now it looks like we might have a little squabble over this camp. Maybe Elf is going to say, fine, you can have it. Although, again, Albino may be knowing, hey, you're just going to go for my energy camp, so I'm going to chase you away a bit more. I don't want you stealing my creeps like that. But Elf's like, nah, I'm gonna do it. You can't stop me. You want to fight? Let's go. Okay. I got 4 brutes. You got 4 lancers. I got a bunch of these little fiends and my little hexen. Just a lot of posturing, it looks like. Not really wanting to commit to that fight. And maybe not wanting to do any creeping while those lancers are also posturing around as well. So just both armies kind of chasing each other around right now, saying, you know, who's brave enough to commit to this battle. We've got a couple of... Okay. Finally doing some creeping. These lancers are trying to take the vision camp or maybe take out this farm. These creeps go down, and this farm is being probably going to go down as well. Although the lancers are like, I can take a couple of last pot shots, boom, it's down, and maybe run away. Faster than brutes. You ain't gonna catch me. A reinforcing lancer here may be caught out of the way, and but we see the lancer's ability to shred those fiends. Even though they kind of got a weak surround, the lancer busts his way out with a couple of good sword thrusts. And now they're going to jump on top of the vision camp here while Elf is finishing off that camp that she started before. That's looking to be a pretty good ball of lancers. Often at this point, my opponents will push those lancers across the map to try and do some damage. Although Albino has got great scouting on his opponent and knows what kind of defenses are up. Not getting up that ramp because maybe this thick brute's blocking the door, but actually maybe running by there and seeing, hey, there is no shroud stone. There's one farm, and now we do see that lancer ball moving forward. Elf's unit is moving towards the health camp, maybe just to soak in its juices because it's not going to respawn here for a minute. The dog capturing the vision camp while this fiend is taken care of. And we've got a small little lancer force. What do we got there? 8 lancers. And yeah, 7, 8. My county eyes are off. So, well, doesn't really matter. It looks like 8. They're going to come up here and take this healing camp back, which is really a smart thing to do. Those lancers, some of them are a little low, but they got like sweet armor. So the more they can heal up, the better. Now, that was interesting. He chose to go there and take it, but not sit there and soak and hold it. Not clear why that is. This brute and skull retaking the vision camp. This dog just running around. So, a little bit hesitant on the pressure there. I thought there was going to be a push out of Albino, but deciding not to do that. And instead, we got Elf coming back to steal back this, and one brute on top of that dog. What do we got here? Ooh, Spriggans. We have Spriggans out of Elf. This is maybe not unexpected with that brute opening. And now, oh, there are some Exos here that can deal with the Spriggans. But they... You know, there's not a huge number of Exos yet. And there we go, a Hornet on top of the Spriggans. Hornets are actually really good against Spriggans. We see one Spriggan going down immediately, the other one low. But that Hornet turns to return to hangar. And the Hornets, like I said, a good counter to the Spriggans. So that's showing that Albino was ready for this tech switch. Despite the brute sort of blocking a scout up on the high ground, which I'm sure the Twilight Spires are, Albino predicted this tech switch was well prepared. More, Shadow Flyers here. One taken out by the Exo. More Exos. I'm trying to see where those Hornets. There's the Hornets on top of the Spriggans. One with a shield. Incredibly brave that, you know, 2 Hornets is all you need to push off 6 or 7 Spriggans. Trying to get a last hit. It doesn't look like it. Trying to just be a little bit of a harass support unit now. And this big brute ball managing to come over here, and with the brutes having or being able to tank some of those exo shots, the Spriggans can get on top. But now we have some Hornets here, although unfortunately they were move commanded, and one of them goes down. That was certainly not what Albino was hoping to get. Although now those Hornets, I think this is a little mismatch. The Hornets were engaging the Gaunts when the Hornets want to be engaging the Spriggans, which they are now. But they are also being focus fired. This army is being chased all the way back. Most of the brutes are dead. A few of those lancers went down, but now the exo count is getting pretty high. And these slower units are unfortunately going to get picked off on the way back here. They really should turn and fight. Well, tried to do the little hokey pokey to get out of there. Maybe enough to distract them. And yes, actually the Shroud Stone manifest coming down. Focus fire on the Shroud Stone. Good job, but the Lancers mostly being taken out here. Shield going down to preserve one of them. Some really low Gaunts here is all that we have left. But they managed to take out one Hornet. And we do have these Exos now focusing down the supply in the shrine here. Is Elf going to be able to reinforce well enough? These Exos, yes. Nice micro to put them back on the offensive so that some of them are still firing against the farm and the shrine. But you want them all on top of those Gaunts. There's just such a good number here that, yeah, that's a GG well played out of Elf. Let's go into game 3. And here we are, back again for game 3 between these two opponents. Elf in the blue Infernal and Albino in the red Vanguard, switching colors this match and immediately fighting in the middle of the map. That's the kind of aggression I like to see. That dog chasing the Hexen right back home to hide here behind her vault. And the dog coming right in saying, I'm here to bite you. You can't run away that fast. And yes, as I often do, grabbing a couple imps to say, hey, help me out here. This dog's annoying. Chase him away. Get out of here, pup. You're too annoying. And looks like Vault Conclave. So different style. She went double vault last time. And we've got same racks out of Albino. I'm not sure if there's too many different openings you can do as a Vanguard. I don't play Vanguard. I play against them. And it looks like we're sticking with the Lancers here. And again, a habitat. So pretty much the same thing out of Albino. And I think it might as well, you know, Albino won the last game and lost the first game, did the same thing each time, might as well stay with a tried and true. We got a single brute out here. Looks like this poor fiend's going to get focused down. That's not what you really want. Get your fiend trapped, your first fiend. And that annoying dog still sticking around trying to get in the way of this creeping effort. If you're not out creeping your own, you might as well be annoying your opponent with your dog. Ooh, looks like you got the last hit there. That's the kind of annoying thing you want to do. And of course, now as Elf, you want to say, hey, I want to kill that dog. I really want to kill that dog. And the dog eating the healing cabbage back up to full. And Elf, clearly triggered by that dog, wanting to march right across the map and kill her opponent. But actually, no, she's just coming for this speed cap. That's fine. So saying, you steal one of my Shadow Mastiffs from me, then I will steal all 5 of your Shadow Mastiffs from you. And take it or leave it. That's what you're getting. Last Shadow Mastiff going down, but this dog saying, yeah, I'm still one step ahead of you. I am going to bother your imp so your imp can't put down your shrine. Those fiends going to chase it away. Ooh, I'm sure Elf wants to kill that dog. But Elf's fiends going up here saying, I can do the same thing. I can block you. But there were some sortie boys up here chasing those fiends away. So Albino's expo not delayed quite as fast as Elf's was by that pesky dog. But both players getting their expo down now. The sortie boys staying at home to guard those bobs. And Elf and her force finally using her farm here to help her creep these shadow demons. The reason you do this, or at least the reason I believe Elf and others we've seen do this, is the shadow demons are finally up to what their intended damage output is after the being bugged on 0.1. And that means they're actually pretty nasty creeps. They're some of the nastier of the early creeps you want to take. So the farm helps with the tanking with the fell hogs and a little bit of DPS as well. Creeping her opponent's health camp while also trying to chase this dog away, who's still out here being annoying. Stealing speed camps away. No more cabbages left, Mr. Dog. These fiends going to their speed camp to get their special speed juices. And look at this. We've got a Shroudstone going down on the low ground here with a sentry post on the high ground trying to combat it. Now the sentry post builds faster because of those bobs on top of it. And we do have a Buzzsaw Cannon now, but it's Buzzsaw Cannon versus Shroudstone. And the Shroudstone's... Ooh, and we get another Summon Shroudstone on the high ground. Plus we have the Army of Elf moving in. We got all these fiends on top. We've got, unfortunately, no surface area on the Buzzsaw Cannon for the Bobs to get in there and heal. But another Buzzsaw Cannon has gone down. Great micro to get another one down. Seeing that the first one's probably going to go down. And now we've got... while this army looks like it's a lot, they're just firing down on these Bobs, trying to get them off the repair. And it looks like that one Buzzsaw Cannon goes down. These Shroudstones doing so much extra DPS. And now we just see all of the brutes turned into fiends, chasing down this Exo and getting on top of these Bobs. I can't see how this is anything, yes, but a GG well played out of Albino and cheering Elf on to the next series.